How's it going?
We've compiled the latest telemetry, which shows us to be at about 96% of optimal.
It's well done. Tal, I understand that you finished recalibrating the sensors.
Yes, I have.
Show me the last transmission.
We're getting first-rate data now. We lost the signal from the probe. Let me replay the data from the auxiliary sensors to see where the problem lies. A CME. We may have lost the probe for good.
What the hell? Well, we've had no advance warnings of CME activity.
This morning, Dr. Lucas Foster, the billionaire entrepreneur, is spending nearly $100 million of his own money to launch the Galileo, a manned scientific exploration vehicle, also known as a MAV, which he hopes will help mankind survive what he calls an uncertain future, but which his critics are calling Lucas's folly. Stay tuned for a press conference followed by the space launch here at Foster Aeronautics.
I don't care what you do up there, Joe. Just make sure you bring back
some hard data we can use to convince these geniuses.
Better get up there.
Have yourself a hell of a ride.
I will.
Hey, Jim, check the Q7 readout. It looks a little high to me.
Yeah, she's been in flux all morning. Don't worry, though. She's still well within operating parameter. So you're going to talk to the vultures out there?
Vulture is such a dirty bird, Jim. Say it with me. The media is our friend.
You really want me to say it with you?
Yes.
The media is our friend.
I was kidding, Jim. You need to relax.
Yeah, relax. Nothing really happening here today, right?
Not at all.
Good morning, everyone. I'm afraid my remarks are going to be abbreviated because launching a vehicle into orbit is a complex job, especially when I have to make every penny count, unlike my former employers in the public sector.
But the question which is really on your minds is, why would anyone be damn fool enough to waste $100 million to send a vehicle into low Earth orbit to study greenhouse gases? We all know how man-made pollutants are wreaking havoc in our atmosphere, and how these deadly emissions are increasing exponentially the more fossil fuels we burn. What you don't know is that last year alone, methane concentrations inside our atmosphere tripled, with potentially disastrous consequences for the environment. We need to do something. The problem is, we don't know what. My pilot, Joe Johnson, is taking the Galileo up to collect data so that we may find that answer. Any questions?
Yes. Your old boss, Bradley Stamp, categorized this launch as sheer lunacy. Is he right?
It isn't the first time he's called one of my ideas crazy. I think Brad is still a little upset I didn't let him invest in my company before I went public.
Hilarious.
Would you explain why you're using a Russian-built craft today instead of an American one?
It was cheaper. But the MAV Joe will be piloting doesn't skimp on quality or safety. Russian-built products are as good as anything we can make in the West. I'm sorry we had to cut this short, but time is money, and I've got to go burn both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Man's a magician.
That was Lucas Foster.
Lucas is making $98 million go up in smoke.
Control, this is Carrier 1. We are on the taxiway ready for takeoff. Need clearance.
Galileo, how's the startup coming?
So far, so good.
How's it compared to the simulator?
You remember having a bit more leg room on the test launch.
Lucas, next time the Russians offer you a deal, make sure it's one designed for humans, not chimpanzees.
In your case, there might be some confusion.
Where is this in from?
Brunei Island's radio spectrometer.
This is huge.
Yes. Too huge. It must be an error.
Brunei's not known for their errors.
You think the probe was in direct line of this CME?
Patel, a normal CME is an ejection of supercharged particles from the sun's surface. If this is correct, then that is not just a coronal mass ejection. That's a solar explosion on a scale we've never seen before. Check the databases. In your 12 years here, have you ever seen a CME this big?
Now, let's not jump to conclusions.
I'm not jumping to conclusions yet. The NSO in Japan has offered to send us data, so has Anchorage, so has Chile, so...
So, the probe was taken out 46 hours ago, and this just showed up from Brunei. If this is accurate.
And it looks like this thing is heading right for us. I'm not gonna sit on my hands and wait for this thing to hit. We need to talk to the Europeans again, and call the NSO and find out where the data is that they promised me hours ago.
Gentlemen, this bird is in flight.
At 10:15 Eastern Standard Time, we have the launch of Lucas Foster's manned aerospace vehicle. As we can see in this replay, the MAV is being carried piggyback by a converted 727. It will climb to an altitude of 38,000 feet, where the Galileo will separate from the carrier plane. It will then fire its own rockets and ascend into the high reaches of the upper atmosphere to fulfill its
Good for you,
experimental
Lucas.
mission. According to Dr. Foster, the focus of this mission will be to measure methane levels in the thermosphere. The Galileo will be visiting areas Dr. Foster's team believes to have high concentrations of these deadly gases in order to prove once and for all
That
the
he is a
environment
self-absorbed
truly is at
lunatic.
risk.
Carrier 1 has reached launch altitude.
Mav, I have you at 38,000 feet, and I'm initiating the drop countdown in T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Carrier 1 beginning rollout. The sky is yours, Galileo.
Roger that. Separation successful, firing booster rockets. And we have MAV ignition.
Attaboy, Joe.
All onboard systems are well within the operating parameters.
Damn!
This is one hell of a ride, Lucas.
This is where he always screwed up on the flight simulator.
Oh, man. What's that red light?
It's in the rear view, coming up fast behind me.
It's a car. I must have broke the speed limit.
Galileo is out of visual range, switching to tracking display.
Tracking telemetry operational.
Climbing to 80 miles altitude.
close to the first methane checkpoint. You should be reaching it in...
6.3 seconds.
Exactly.
Joe, how you doing there?
Just fine. I'm about to switch all the sensors and monitoring equipment.
Larry, we have an alarm in Sector 3. Maybe a malfunction. Give me a reset and a full diagnostic.
Joe, do you read me? We're showing an alarm in Sector 3. Give me your status.
We've lost telemetry.
Try rerouting it.
Joe?
4.
Joe, where'd he go?
I don't know.
Get him back, Jim.
This is Galileo. Come in, ground control.
A power outage? How the hell could that be possible?
It's got to be an instrument malfunction.
On every instrument? No way. Get me radio communications now.
This is Galileo. Come in, ground control.
Telemetry's back up. We're getting a signal.
Joe, can you hear me?
Come in, Galileo.
What the hell happened, Lucas? I had a full system shutdown.
We lost you here. You just vanished from the tracking screens.
What's going on?
I don't know. Everything just shut down. All the instrumentation, life support, booster rockets, everything. It's not possible. What was it, Lucas?
Tell me you got this under control.
We're working on it, Joe. As soon as Joe! Joe! Joe!
Galileo to base. Do you copy?
Joe!
We have full signal lost. No telemetry.
Larry, check the emergency transponder frequency.
No go.
Satellite tracking indicates multiple targets on Galileo flight path.
We have confirmation that Lucas Foster's space launches turned tragic. Half an hour after launch, these images were filmed over California detailing the doomed mission. Foster Aeronautics won't comment on the status of pilot Joe Johnson and whether he was able to safely jettison.
Oh my God, what happened?
Due to the low atmospheric
Lucas lost the
trajectory of
MAV,
vehicles,
Joanne.
unlikely that Mr.
An
Johnson
explosion.
was able to survive
What about Joe?
officials are calling
I don't know.
catastrophic
There's no sign of an ejection pod.
operations.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Mr. Foster?
No comment.
I don't have any comments.
More, sir. Mr. Foster, please.
Lucas?
Hello, Joanna?
Lucas, I just heard. I'm so sorry. Did Joe get out? Is there any way he could have ejected?
It doesn't appear so. We're assuming the worst.
If there's anything that I can do.
Thanks, but for now, there isn't.
Lucas, I'm just trying to help you out here, please.
What do you need?
Access to all the data that you have, tracking, flight logs, sims.
All right. Just before the explosion, there was a brief power loss.
A power loss?
I have no idea what caused it or if it's related, but it just cut out for a second. Joanna.
Yeah.
This isn't a Brad thing, is it? It's you that's asking?
Yeah, Lucas, it's me. And I am so sorry.
Thanks.
Hell of a time for something like this. Russian-built vehicle as well. Gonna do wonders for the president's stress level.
Excuse me, Admiral, but I fail to see the relationship.
The Russian submarine fleet has run the maneuvers off the Greenland coast, Colonel Albee. They got 12 submarines in the water.
It's a Security Council-approved exercise, Admiral.
Exercise, sure. See, the thing is, we don't want them backsliding into communism, so we say, sure, go ahead, have fun.
I still don't see what that has to do with the MAV explosion.
If they so much as float a boat, even an inch over approved lines, I want to know about it. Do y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to know because the president expects me to know. Now, these exercises aren't hostile, but we have good reason to suspect that 3 of their subs are carrying nuclear missiles. Now, if a Russian-built space vehicle blows up in midair, Colonel, are you going to be the one to trust Russian subs with onboard nukes?
I see what you mean about stress levels, Admiral.
Lucas, I've been looking all over for you. You need to see this.
What is it?
I just started getting the feeds from the MAV. It picked up a methane spike. It's off the charts.
Sensors must have failed in the explosion. This can't be.
Yeah, but look at all the other data. It's right on.
This is crazy. This can't be right.
Joanna, this transmission just came in from Japan. This is the very latest data. And this is from the Southern Observatory in Chile, and this is Anchorage. The photo you're looking at is the CME that we believe took out the solar probe. According to calculations, the mass from this emanation would have hit the Earth's atmosphere.
Right about the time that Lucas lost his MAV.
Yes.
These new views show the sun emitting multiple CMEs in a short time span. The sun has never done anything like this before.
Well, not in recorded history anyway.
How long has this activity been going on?
72 hours. If these motion calculations are accurate, then the CME cluster is on the ecliptic heading towards Sector 12.
Which brings the Earth directly into its line of fire.
Yes.
Joanna, you know, I've been looking all over for you.
Brad, we have a big problem.
How big?
Where'd you get this? Why didn't we have this?
A friend of mine at the Southern Observatory heard about the MAV, and he thought that we might be intrigued, is what he said.
These are huge. It's like...
The sun is shedding its skin.
Yeah. But why hasn't Joanna? She would have known about this. Are you sure this is right?
Well, it's accurate.
Let's run it again.
Lucas, what are you doing here? You scared the hell out of me.
Well, don't worry. I'm about to scare the hell right back into you. Why didn't you tell me about the CMEs?
When? Every news reporter in town has turned your building into an impenetrable fortress. You're no longer answering your cell phone, and your secretary, secretaries, all 4 of them, happen to think that you're out of the country, even though you're doing a press conference in the same building.
Did you know? Tell me you didn't know.
I just found out about it an hour ago. Look, Lucas, power failure in the MAV had to have been caused by this. The CME was hitting the same area is the only explanation.
The CME didn't just cause the electrical failure. The CME obliterated the MAV.
That's impossible. These solar events do not just randomly blow things up.
The CME didn't blow it up. It ignited methane in the upper atmosphere. And that blew up the MAV.
Oh, no. You did not come down here just to start in on this again, did you, Lucas?
Joanna, before the MAV blew, it took a methane reading that was off the charts. There's been a shift going on in the atmosphere, the likes of which we've never seen. You mix that in with this solar event, and you have a recipe
for destruction. Yes, I know, Lucas. I lived with your theories for 6 years.
Joanna, if my theory is right, this event is no recipe for destruction. This is a recipe for extinction.
Lucas, what happened yesterday was a tragedy. It was a horrible freak accident, but the MAV was outside of the D7 belts. It was above the ozone. It was vulnerable. We are not.
The CMEs that I saw are like nothing we've ever encountered before. Not only will they take out anything in the outer atmosphere, they're packing enough power to break through the ozone, especially with those cute little holes we keep punching into it.
I'm done listening to this. This is unsubstantiated conjecture.
Of course it's unsubstantiated. The MAV was destroyed before I could collect the evidence to prove it. Joanna, if we don't act now, we won't be here long enough to say I told you so.
Lucas, I have always been intrigued by your theories, but we deal with hard facts and reality here. That is our business.
You've been working here too long, Joanna. You sound just like Stamp. Well, I've got to run. A bit of a media nightmare on my hands today, as you are well aware of. Oh, and about me being tough to reach these days. When you called my cell yesterday, right after the MAV was destroyed and I was in total crisis mode, I answered on the first ring.
Hi there.
Hi. Can I have a hot dog all dressed?
Okay.
Lots of onions.
Lucas! It happened again.
What? You quoting policy like Stamp?
Look, an old weather satellite just crashed in the middle of downtown Detroit. Its orbit took it directly into the path of a CME. They're already reporting 8 known casualties, 17 wounded, and more missing. I'm taking your theory to Stamp. I thought that you should be there.
Okay. We're gonna need to go over everything you've got on the CME cluster. The updated telemetry and tracking from the network.
These CMEs are being tracked by the European Solar Imaging Probe. Could you show us the closest one, Patel, please?
The size of that thing.
Yeah, it is by far the biggest CME that we've ever recorded. Could you highlight the incoming trajectory?
What's that in its path?
A satellite, a Russian satellite.
Not just a satellite, Joanna. That is the primary Russian comsat. All their military communications go through it.
How many more CMEs are you picking up now?
Dozens. More than we've ever recorded, but the real problem is that the Earth's orbit is bringing us directly into their path. We're gonna be hit repeatedly over the next 48 hours.
What could possibly be causing this?
We don't know. No one does.
My. To what do we owe the gift of your presence, Dr. Foster?
This isn't ex-employee appreciation day.
No, I think it's security remove someone who has no clearance to be here day.
Not bad. That was pretty funny coming from you, Stamp.
Look, Lucas, I know you've been through a lot in the last few days, so I'm willing to take that into account, but please, you're gonna have to excuse us.
Actually, I asked him to be here. I believe he has a theory that we need to explore.
You have no authorization to do that.
I hate to interrupt this fascinating scientific discussion, but the President of the United States is on video conference. Shall I patch him through?
Nah, keep him on hold for a few minutes. He gets such a kick out of that.
Lucas.
Hang on.
Brad, I allocate billions of dollars to the agency. I would hope at least that it would buy me some advance notice when satellites come raining from the sky.
Mr. President, I promise you we are on to this. You have the full breadth and scope of our resources.
Great. Now let's start with a simple explanation. There might be some people around here that don't know the difference between a CME and a BLT.
BLT, sir?
It's a sandwich stamp.
Right. Well, coronal mass ejections, or CMEs, are solar explosions. During these explosions, highly charged solar particles are hurled into space at colossal speed, sir.
I take it these explosions are quite powerful?
They can pack up to 100 megatons of TNT, maybe more.
How many of them are there?
Well, we are tracking several, sir, but we have everything under control. There's really nothing to worry about.
Mr. President, if you'll excuse me, Dr. Parks, one of these CMEs is currently headed for the primary Russian ComSat, and there are many more of these phenomena, all bigger than we have ever seen. Our updated calculations show that some of them are going to hit the Earth.
Well, doesn't the ozone layer protect us from stuff like that?
Well, it's hard to say. Theoretically, yes, but the problem is that all of our satellites operate well beyond the ozone barrier.
What's the potential damage assessment?
So the potential energy of one of these CMEs could cripple every satellite in its path. We could be looking at major communication disruptions. Entire hemispheres could go dark.
Please forgive this. My associate is blowing this out of proportion. We may lose some satellite communications, or there may be some more crackle in your radio, but we're going to be okay. The ozone will hold.
Excuse me.
Lucas?
Mr. President?
What are you doing there?
I'm trying to avoid more casualties, sir. Mr. President, what you haven't been told is that this is a disaster scenario. Sir, as we all know, man-made chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons have infiltrated the upper atmosphere and weakened the ozone. Put holes into it. The energy that this bombardment of CMEs is carrying can and will penetrate the ozone at these weak points. But that is just the beginning. Our atmosphere has always been a mix of nitrogen, oxygen, and 2% other gases. That 2% has gone to 5% in the last 10 years. And most of that is methane, highly volatile, highly flammable methane. So when those CMEs break through the ozone, they will ignite pockets of methane and literally set the sky on fire. That fire will consume the world's oxygen supply within a few hours. All living things will literally suffocate to death.
Mr. President, with all due respect, Dr. Foster's elaborate claims are entirely based on speculation.
Well, we all agree that these things are coming our way, right?
Yes, we do.
What's the time frame?
Well, the first CMEs have already begun to hit, and it will get increasingly worse over the next 48 hours.
I will take all this under consideration. You'll let me know immediately if you have any further information.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Sir. How dare you use this agency and its good name for your Armageddon propaganda?
Bradley, his theory is valid.
I want you out of this building. Thank you, Dr. Foster.
This is going to be bad.
What do you mean, Admiral?
Ever seen signs of scare before? No, this is going to continue for the next 2 days. And Detroit cannot have been an isolated incident.
Couldn't agree with you more, sir. If a single CME brought down that satellite, imagine what a storm of them can do.
Exactly. Let's scramble the F-15s. Give us some sky cover.
Where are you going, sir?
I'm gonna see what those Russian subs are up to. If we're losing our satellites, I want to be able to track them the old-fashioned way.
Captain, this just came in.
Lieutenant Troiska.
Yes, sir.
Set new coordinates. 10 degrees south, 5 degrees west, increase speed 5 knots, and take us to 300 meters.
Captain, it's going to take us closer to the international boundaries.
That is correct, Lieutenant.
Nice. 10 degrees south, 5 degrees west, increase speed 5 knots, take us to 300 meters. Captain, what is going on?
Officially, nothing.
Unofficially?
We're going to show the world that Russia will not be intimidated.
Anyone believe you?
I don't know. At least the president isn't just getting Stamp's version.
Oh, yeah? Where'd you lose him?
Right around the part where the sky catches fire.
It's the tough part, all right. So what do we do now?
I'm the big money loudmouth guy that gets us into trouble, Jim. I pay you to come up with the answers to get us out of trouble.
Then we're in a lot of trouble.
We can do this, Jim. Come on.
Yuri, our experts tell us that a huge solar flare is headed right toward your main communication satellite. Now, when they collide, it's going to knock your satellite right out of the sky.
Our scientists have not been able to verify these claims.
Well, you've got all the data we have, Yuri. What more do you want? Our satellites could also be knocked out. You know what'll happen then? We will all be in the dark. Now, I don't have to tell you what will happen when our two fleets are operating in close proximity with one another without the ability to get direct commands from us.
I agree. Call back your fleet, and we will do the same.
On the contrary, Yuri, you're the one who's operating with armed submarines near the international border. It is you who must pull back first.
I have full permission from the other members of the Security Council for these exercises. If and when we are convinced of the authenticity of this threat, we will join you in taking the appropriate measures.
Authenticity? Yuri, 4 hours ago, a satellite dropped in downtown Detroit. If you want to know about casualties, it's on every major network.
I'm deeply sorry for the tragedy in Detroit, but my first responsibility is to my country.
Yuri, there's an old saying, after pride comes a fall. Now, why don't we both put our pride aside and work together to prevent further casualties? How about that?
Okay, Ryan. I will order my subs to pull back. I trust you will do the same with your fleet.
You have my word, Yuri. It will be done. Thank you, Yuri. Colonel, is there any way to prevent the satellite from coming down?
No, sir. Its orbit is directly in the path of the CME.
Admiral Lawrence, what's your take?
If we position ourselves in a perimeter in the North Atlantic, our subs can monitor any breach of international waters by their subs during the communication blackout.
Then do it. but alert our commanders that we may also lose communication and that they should keep their cool.
Yes, sir.
I don't want any trigger-happy idiots out there.
No one is going to believe us. Not a word.
Yep.
No one will ever give me as much as a dime for future projects.
Yep.
You're going to be working fast food for the rest of your life.
Yep.
You think there could possibly be another way?
No. No. Once the CMEs clear the ozone, the methane will ignite. There won't be a lot of time to put it out.
I agree. Maybe 24 hours before total flashover.
Yeah.
Well, we better get going.
Where?
Back to the space agency. We need to put this matrix through some real simulations. We don't have the processing power here.
Lucas, they just kicked you out of there.
Jim, it's a space agency. It ain't the Kremlin. Come on.
Joanna, we're a team here. All of us are part of one big team. If a member of that team starts screaming like Chicken Little that the sky is falling, then the whole team stands to lose. And that could mean millions of dollars in funding.
I can't believe that you're talking about funding at a time like this. Have you seen the data? We have an obligation
First and foremost, to your job, to your co-workers, to the people that pay your salary, not to some crazed radical who thinks he's important just because he has some money. Not to some pseudo-scientist, and not to an ex-husband who you may or may not still have feelings for.
How dare you say that I would let my relationship with Lucas sway my opinions or my actions? You know what, Brad? What? You're being blinded by jealousy. The only one whose judgment is being compromised here is you.
Dr. Parks, you were
Excuse me, the next of the CMEs has started to hit. I think the Russian primary comsat is about to be annihilated. It is not going to stay up there. It's too much.
We're gonna have to get NORAD on the phone. The satellite's coming down.
NORAD confirms the probable point of impact of the satellite just east of Lake Erie.
Copy that. We have 2 F-15s on intercept.
This is Delta Patrol. We've got cloud cover, but I have the object on my radar.
You see it? Can you intercept?
I think so, sir.
If you can't, we're going to lose a section of downtown Buffalo.
Let's do it, Delta 2.
Copy that.
Bogey 10 miles from Buffalo inbound.
Presently at 18,000 feet and climbing.
Satellite at 40,000 feet. Satellite at 33,000 feet.
Roger that. We're at 27,000 feet.
Satellite's coming in hot at 29,000 feet. Take a shot.
I've got visual. Arming. This way. It's not a clean kill. We've got debris.
Still debris. Get it, Delta 2.
I'm on it.
It's into the clouds, but I've got a signal. Roger that, Delta 2. Satellite 25-3. Tracking target. Missile away. I don't have impact.
of impact.
Come on, gentlemen, you can do it.
We got one shot to do this.
Satellite is 74.
I've got visual. Missile left.
Yes!
This is the second satellite that's been destroyed by a CME, Brad.
And there is no way to know how many others will be affected as the rest of the CMEs hit.
We need to get better informed. I want a direct feed from every observatory that you can get a hold of, and I want them patched in here as soon as possible.
Anchorage, Noricora, Las Campanas.
I don't care if it's my nephew in his backyard with a pair of binoculars. I want them all online. I want to know if so much as a bottle rocket goes off.
All right.
Anchorage.
They'll never let us in.
I have an update from Anchorage. They're on line 3.
Let's get them on speakerphone.
You guys are missing one hell of a light show over here.
So I heard. How soon can you get us visuals, gentlemen?
We're still working on it. We've been trying to patch them through, but our satellite connection is down. Oh my God.
Anchorage?
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? The sky is glowing.
Anchorage. Anchorage. What's this I hear about a glowing sky?
Hello, Lucas.
Sorry, sir, I couldn't stop.
Should have shot him. Get me confirmation on Anchorage. I need to know what happened there ASAP.
Brett, I don't have to tell you this is bad, and I think you now know it's going to get worse. The ozone will not hold, and we have to prepare for that.
All right.
Thank you. And where are we?
We just lost Anchorage.
The observatory or the whole city?
We don't know yet.
Show me that.
Admiral, what is it?
The Russians promised they're going to downgrade the combat status of their subs.
And they didn't?
Not quite. Their ComSat went down before they could contact the final sub.
So this sub has zero contact with their commander.
It gets worse. The order to recall our subs to safe water was in transit. Now our comms are down. Not all of them received instructions.
Not all of them. How many?
2. The Ocala was just north of the Azores Islands. USS Lansing is off the coast of Greenland, monitoring the Russian fleet maneuvers.
So 2 of our subs are out there, somewhere, just waiting for a Russian sub to cross the safe water boundary.
I just pray to God those men, theirs and ours, show a little judgment.
Anything? No, sir, we're not picking up a thing.
It's not an equipment malfunction.
No, sir, everything seems to be functioning perfectly.
Everything but our satellite. We have no outside communications, only what we can pick up on shortwave. What about sonar and radar?
Operational, but there is a great deal of interference.
Makes the read difficult, to say the least.
Scientists say this massive display of northern lights is a visible indication of the bombardments of supercharged solar particles. These particles are shorting out satellite circuitry and causing energy surges in electrical transmission lines. Due to mounting satellite losses, global government agencies have taken the unprecedented step of commandeering the use of deep-sea communication cables that are shielded from interference to allow communication to continue. as this worldwide crisis deepens. The
Sir?
international images
Mainland China just went dark.
were allowed to pass through this new
Not
government.
100% certain. It could have been an accident, or it could have been as Lucas predicted.
Demanding the right to
We're trying to get some hard data, but with our satellites down right now, we're running deaf, dumb, and blind.
The power of these images is clear in this recent footage from Eastern Europe.
Mr. President,
Throughout the night, the
you should see
spectral
this.
glow of supercharged northern lights shone on scenes of increasing unrest. In Berlin, government buildings were set alight by protesters demanding action. Mass demonstrations of public unease over the solar crisis also drew police or military responses in Poland, Romania.
Captain, there is still no response. I cannot reach anyone.
There must be equipment malfunction.
I have run full diagnostics twice. There is nothing wrong with our system.
There must be. Run them again.
Yes, sir.
All stations to full alert. I do not wish to be caught by surprise. Lieutenant Troysk.
Yes, sir.
Take us to 100 meters.
These are not our orders, sir.
I know this. But perhaps our communications will clear up at the shallow depth.
Or maybe we will be a sitting duck, Captain.
100 meters, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. 100 meters.
Mr. President, these CMEs that have overloaded power grids and knocked out our communication satellites are nothing compared to the last few that are going to hit our northern and southern hemispheres. I'm certain these CMEs will breach our ozone.
And the after effects, how disastrous?
Far worse than disastrous, sir. The burning methane fires in the stratosphere will increase in intensity and magnitude until they reach a point of flashover. We'll have complete and total oxygen depletion. As we scientists call it, sir, an ELE.
An extinction level event.
That's the bad news, sir. The good news is, we believe there's a way out. Jim?
Well, sir, Mr. President, if we're facing the world's biggest fire, then what we need is the world's largest fire extinguisher. The most probable point of penetration is wherever the ozone is the weakest, and that would be over the poles. Now, this is a good thing. We've calculated that a 20 megaton nuclear device detonated closest to the entry point of the CME will bring enough water vapor into the atmosphere to extinguish the flame.
Wait a minute, are you serious? You're asking me to nuke the North Pole? You out of your mind?
It's the only scenario which will work, sir.
Dr. Parks, what do you think of this theory?
Sir, if the ozone layer doesn't hold, the solution proposed is a viable one.
Stan?
Sir, this is neither my scenario nor my solution, but I feel in light of what we're dealing with, you should hear it all, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let's say I approve this order. Then I authorize an ICBM strike on the polar ice cap.
No, sir. Because our outer atmosphere is so unstable, an ICBM won't work. It has to fly too high. We should launch from a submarine at close distance.
The only subs we have close to the North Pole don't have that payload.
But we know of a Russian sub in that general area. The Vosnesensk. And it's loaded.
The Vosnesensk? We can make this work, sir. We need to get that sub.
Even if we were to act on this elaborate fantasy,
We can't contact our own subs, let alone the Russian subs.
As Admiral Lawrence points out, there are difficulties with your proposal, Lucas. Okay, look. I'm gonna have to take all of this into consideration and get back to you.
Mr. President, time is one thing we don't have. We need to get this plan into action now. If we wait, it'll be too late, sir.
Lucas, what you propose is very risky. I want to weigh all these options, and I will get back to you.
He's not gonna do it.
Do you blame him?
I will when we all die.
You made your pitch. The president has all the information.
He doesn't realize we're out of time.
are you going?
The Voznesensk.
The what?
Look, I know that Russian sub-commander, Joanna. Before the man was airborne, it was tested for splashdown in the North Atlantic. The man in charge of the test was a Russian sub-captain named Grigorovich. After the final test, he was assigned to the Voznesensk to do routine patrols in the Arctic. If that's him, there's a chance, however slight, that I will be able to board that sub.
Look, I know you have a relationship there, but they're on high alert. There's no Russian submarine commander is going to let an American on board his sub.
That's the best shot we've got. Look, we don't have much time before the largest of the CMEs hits. The real job is yours. We can't figure out the coordinates to launch the ordnance until we know exactly where that CME has penetrated, its speed and trajectory. Jim, you need to run the calcs with Joanna. Pinpoint me a location. We'll only have one chance at this.
You really think they're gonna let you on a Russian sub?
I'm gonna give it a shot. Get their last known coordinates, take my jet to Iceland, and charter a helicopter from there. All right.
I see. No, thank you, sir. Just got a fragmentary communication. Not quite sure.
Brad, what is it?
I think New Zealand was just obliterated in Firestorm.
There are unconfirmed reports from Sydney, Australia today that the sky to the southeast, in the direction of New Zealand, was seen to erupt in flames. Communications from New Zealand, including deep-sea cable, have stopped, and scientists are suggesting a CME may have breached the ozone, causing unforeseeable damage. What is certain is that until now, the human component of this solar storm has been the most unpredictable. Complete civil unrest has broken out in several countries, leading to the imposition of martial law. But as events in the Republic of Georgia and South Africa show, even military curfews have been ineffective against the near hysterical spread of panic and violence, as people fear the end of the world has arrived.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
We have absolute confirmation that New Zealand's been destroyed. Foster was right. The ozone has been breached.
You know, Frank, I've known Lucas Foster for more than 20 years, and he's been right more times than I can remember.
Sir, Lucas Foster has gone off the reservation.
What are you talking about?
I've received word that he's trying to link up with a Russian sub.
You don't mean that Russian sub that's off the coast of Greenland?
Yes, sir. I've also received confirmation that this Russian sub is armed with nukes.
Where is he now?
Captain, you need to take a look at this. We've got massive interference on the sonar.
What the hell?
We're losing power, sir.
How is that possible? Get me a read on that sonar. Get our damned radio to work.
Yes, sir.
Get me the engine room. I need to know what's going on with the power.
Russian Navy submarine, the Bosnazets. This is Lucas Foster. I'm in a civilian helicopter. Do you read me? Calling the Bosnazets. This is Lucas Foster. Do you read me? Russian Navy submarine, the Bosnazets. This is Lucas Foster. I'm in a civilian helicopter. Do you read me?
Captain, we have an incoming craft. I believe it is a helicopter, sir.
Helicopter? All the way out here, are you sure?
Yes. I can hear it. A helicopter.
Lieutenant Troiska.
Yes, sir.
Take us to periscope depth immediately. We need visual confirmation.
Calling the Bosnazets. This is Lucas Foster. Do you read me, Bosnazets?
Captain, this is the radio room. We have an incoming transmission.
Patch this through speakers.
It's coming in over the shortwave, sir.
Captain, we reached the periscope depth.
Lieutenant Troiska. Must see this. What's happening up there?
Calling Russian Navy submarine, the Bosnazets.
Sir, it must be a trap. Americans have disabled our communications, and this is just a ploy to get us to the surface.
It is a civilian helicopter.
This is Lucas Foster. Misha, if you can hear me, I've got your favorite Cuban, hand-rolled by Castro himself.
Take her up.
Captain, please reconsider. This is against military protocol.
You are correct, Lieutenant. Surface now. I will not repeat the order again.
Aye, sir. Surfacing.
Lucas, my friend, we are receiving you, and I have given the order to surface.
Misha, you are a lovely sight. Let's take you down. Yep.
Admiral, Intel has been picking up chatter around the globe. Several regions in the northern hemisphere are reporting fires in the sky. Clouds spontaneously combusting.
Do you know if Foster boarded the Russian sub yet?
No.
Well, I guess we'd better get ready for hell on Earth.
Captain.
Lucas. I hope you understand. I'm in violation of strict orders having you aboard this vessel.
I assure you, Captain, it's for a good reason. Besides, you're not able to communicate with the command operations, are you?
How do you know this?
Because your main comsat dropped out of the sky.
What is going on up there? The communications, the sky.
We're being assaulted by a massive solar storm. I don't have time to give you a detailed explanation, but it's bad. It's real bad. And I'm gonna need your help and your trust if we're gonna stop it.
Joanna Parks?
Clock is ticking. You heard from Lucas?
Not yet. Don't worry, he'll call.
I hope so. I just got the final trajectory. I'll have the launch coordinates soon. Hang in there.
Okay.
Target the polar ice shelf with our nuclear missiles.
Captain, the sky that you saw was only a glimpse of the worldwide destruction that's been going on.
Why not the American sub?
Yours was the closest armed sub to the target.
You cannot launch from the United States?
No. An ICBM launch from the States would have to leave our atmosphere. Once it did, its guidance system would be knocked out by the solar storms. It must be launched at low altitudes at close range. That's where you come in, sir. Captain, this is the only chance we have. This disaster, it's accelerating, moving toward flashpoint. If we don't stop it now, sir, it can't be stopped.
I could not possibly authorize such an act. Not without approval of my commander.
Captain, how about if you talk to President Aleutian directly? Would that work?
How?
Captain, we are approximately here. If we can get to here, the transatlantic cables, we can tap in and call the Kremlin.
I've compiled the data sent by the observatories before they went offline into a simulation of the methane ignition pattern.
Put it on screen.
The cable is somewhere around 800 meters deep.
Approximately 2,500 feet.
That is very deep for a sub of our class.
Captain, that's the closest and shallowest point to the cable.
Captain, if we go below 700 meters, there's a really good chance that the ship's hull will crumble from the pressure.
When the fires in the sky intensify, they will deplete our oxygen.
All life on this planet will suffocate in a matter of a few hours. We have to act now.
Lieutenant, set course for these coordinates. Initiate deep dive precautionary measures. Now, Lieutenant?
Yes, sir. Initiate deep dive precautions.
Sir, I'm picking up another sub. It's American.
Captain, if we make contact, there'll be no time for explanations.
Rig for silent running.
Yes, sir. Rig for silent running.
Oh my God.
It's heading for us!
And 50 meters.
Captain, the American sub is getting closer. 8 degrees south, 30 degrees west of our position. Captain, do we keep with this dive?
What depth are they at?
275 meters.
Close enough to shout. But they have not hurt us, have they?
They're not behaving as if they have.
Stay in the dive. Keep it smooth and very quiet.
Aye, sir. Stay in the dive.
700 meters. Captain, I don't think she can take too much more pressure.
She will have to. And so she will.
Captain, we have a leak at level 3. Torpedo Bay 4 is flooded.
Seal it off.
Aye, sir. Seal it off.
$800 meters. Mark reached.
Full stop.
hurt. Oh, thank God.
What the hell just happened up there?
We got hit. The program, is it still running?
Yeah, it's still running. Just under 11 minutes.
Thank God. I'm on my way.
Господин президент, Magnalinea Voznesensk.
President Alyoshin. This is Lucas Foster. I need your help, sir.
Mr. Foster, I believe I know why you are calling. I've spoken with President Gordon. We will approve your plan. My submarine is at your disposal.
That's very good news, Mr. President. May I put you on with Captain Grigorovich, commander of the Voznesensk?
Please.
Thank you, sir.
Whoa, Dr. Parks, you can't go down there.
Ned.
It's not safe. Walls are collapsing.
That's a chance I'm gonna have to take.
Dr. Parks!
It's Lucas. He's on the sub.
Thank God. Lucas?
Joanne, it's good to hear your voice.
And yours.
You got those launch coordinates?
Yeah. Here we go. Latitude, 86 degrees, 43 minutes, 17 seconds north. Longitude, 41 degrees, 19 minutes, 4 seconds west.
Joanna, good work.
This wasn't supposed to happen.
There's still time to stop it. I got the coordinates to Lucas in the sub.
Lieutenant, what's the status on our comm?
The radio's still down, sir. No satellite guidance to speak of.
I know we're still down, Lieutenant. I want an ETA and when they'll be restored.
I wish I could give you that, sir, but every indication leads us to believe that this is an external problem.
External?
Sir, I mean, the problem is not with our comm equipment. The problem is with the source.
Are you telling me the world's biggest superpower is just lost its SATCOM?
Maybe it was a test?
I have advanced notification of all maritime scheduled tests.
Either way, we would have had communication. Which means the only reason we haven't heard from headquarters is that they went dark themselves.
Are you insinuating we may have been attacked?
Sir, we did experience a power surge and interference consistent with nuclear EMP.
Captain, we may be picking up another sub.
Maybe picking up another sub? I want a confirmation on that, and I want it now.
Yes, sir.
Meters from missile launch depth, sir.
Input target coordinates, Lieutenant.
Капитан, вы действительно собираетесь запускать ракеты с ядерными боеголовками?
Да.
Так точно. Приготовиться к запуску. Launch coordinates are set, Captain.
How soon until we reach launch position?
In 15 seconds, sir.
Unlock missile launch codes.
Sir, sonar's picking up a Russian sub.
Are you sure?
Positive, sir.
What's their position?
Sir, they're over the safe water boundary inside Icelandic territorial waters.
On my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. Input launch code.
Now missiles are armed, sir.
Prepare to fire.
Captain, the Americans, they have located us. Sir, we have an incoming message from the Americans on the shortwave. They say we have drifted off course, that we are in violation of Icelandic territorial waters, and are ordered to surface immediately.
Tell the Americans we are acting under direct orders of both President Ilyushin and President Gordon.
Sir, they say they're acting under the direct orders of both President Ilyushin and President Gordon, and that they're running a Code Black scenario.
What kind of game are they playing?
They are at missile launch depth, sir.
Tell them we have no way to verify their claims. They need to surface immediately. Any failure to comply will be deemed an act of aggression.
Yes, sir.
They are giving us 1 minute to surface and prove the authentication of our orders.
If we surface now, sir, it'll be too late. The window of opportunity has almost closed. We must do this now, sir.
Send another message. Tell the Americans we are on a time-critical mission and that we pose no threat. Send this.
Yes, sir. American submarine, we are on a time-critical mission, and our operation poses no danger to your vessel.
Let them know we mean business.
Yes, sir.
On my mark.
Captain, they're opening their torpedo bay doors.
Lieutenant Troiska.
We will not fire missiles, sir.
Give me your key.
We cannot do that. This is suicide.
Lieutenant. Don't!
Lock Lieutenant Troiska in his quarters.
Yes, sir.
Lock him up.
Now, Captain.
Firing missiles 1 through 5.
Sir, the Russians just launched 5 missiles.
What in God's name?
Sir, awaiting your orders, sir.
Prepare to fire. We're taking them out.
Sir, yes, sir. Prepare to fire.
Send another message. Tell them we are surfacing.
Fire when ready. Fire when ready.
It's too late. Torpedoes in the water.
Prepare countermeasures. Full ahead. Down right angle 45 degrees. Fire countermeasures.
Fire countermeasures.
Sir, the Russians have launched countermeasures and are moving away at full screws.
Prepare to fire again.
Sir, yes, sir. Prepare to fire.
when ready.
Captain, the Americans have fired 2 more torpedoes.
All hands to damage control stations. Fire countermeasures on my mark. And then hard turn 90 degrees starboard.
800 meters. 700 meters.
Not yet.
600 meters. 500 meters.
Fire countermeasures. Initiate turn. Harder. A little more. There. God help us.
Sir, the torpedoes have missed their target. There is no return fire.
Load torpedoes. Prepare to fire again.
Damage report.
Sublevel 1 has minor hull breaches in the pump room, sir.
Plug them and evacuate.
Yes, sir.
Get me the shortwave radio. American Sub-Commander, this is Lucas Foster.
I'm on board the Russian submarine Voznesensk.
Hold your fire.
Sir, you better hear this.
Hold your fire. This is Lucas Foster.
You didn't succeed.
We don't know that yet.
Oh, face it, Joanne. The calculations must have been off, or maybe there's human error. Maybe you didn't get the missiles off.
He did. I know he did.
Mr. Foster, your presence does merit the cessation of hostilities. However, you must warn the Russian captain to maintain a neutral posture, to surface immediately and to surrender.
We're demanding your immediate surrender.
Never.
Captain, it's just a formality.
Send message back. Tell them we will comply.
But, sir...
Someone has to take Mr. Foster home.
President, it worked. Lucas has done it.
Yes! Captain, I owe you one. If there's anything I can ever do for you,
Do not be such a stranger, Lucas Foster. The next time you are in the neighborhood, drop by.
Oh, I believe this is yours.
Спасибо.
Пожалуйста.
glad you're back.
Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
Hey. Welcome back.
Thank you. So, where's the rest of the welcoming committee?
We're having lunch with the president, Lucas. What more do you want?
Well, I don't know. Marching band would have been nice.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.